The Itchy and Scratchy Show. The Itchy and Scratchy Show, often shortened as Itchy and Scratchy, is a fictional animated television series featured in the American animated television series The Simpsons. It appears as a part of the Krusty the Clown Show. Itself an animated cartoon, The Itchy and Scratchy Show depicts a blue mouse, Itchy, voiced by Dan Castellaneta, who repeatedly kills a black cat, Scratchy, voiced by Harry Shearer. The cartoon first appeared in the Tracey Ullman Show short The Bart Simpson Show, which aired November 20, 1988. The cartoon's first appearance in The Simpsons was in the 1990 episode There's No Disgrace Like Home. Typically presented as 15 to 60 seconds long cartoons, the show is filled with gratuitous violence that almost invariably prompts uproarious laughter from Bart and Lisa. The Simpsons also occasionally features characters who are involved with the production of the Itchy and Scratchy Show, including Roger Meyers Jr., voiced by Alex Rocco, and, later, Hank Azaria, who runs the studio and produces the show. The Itchy and Scratchy characters are extremely violent and bloody parodies of Tom and Jerry and Herman and Catnip. The names were inspired by Sylvester Cat and Tweety, a cat and bird on Looney Tunes. The Italian comic strip Squeak the Mouse is also considered as an apparent inspiration for the characters. The mouse, or mice, are almost always the aggressors and, as opposed to Tom and Jerry, they relentlessly attempt to kill Scratchy and any other cats around. The cartoons became popular among the show's writers and animators, and they are often added when an episode needs expanding. As the shorts became popular with fans, the writers decided to have full episodes that centered on the production of the Itchy and Scratchy Show and featured multiple shorts. The first was Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, Season 2, 1990, which was a commentary on censorship. Other episodes to feature the show in a prominent role include Itchy and Scratchy, the movie, Season 4, 1992, The Front, Season 4, 1993, Itchy and Scratchy Land, Season 6, 1994, The Day the Violence Died, Season 7, 1996, and The Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show, Season 8, 1997, and Treehouse of Horror 9, Season 10, 1998. Role in The Simpsons. The Itchy and Scratchy Show is a show within a show that appears occasionally in episodes of The Simpsons. They appear in the form of 12 to 60 seconds cartoons that are filled with gratuitous violence, usually initiated by Itchy the mouse against Scratchy the cat. Itchy is almost always the victor. Itchy and Scratchy airs as a segment on the Krusty the Clown Show, and also aired on its brief replacements, Sideshow Bob's Cavalcade of Whimsy and Gabbo. Itchy and Scratchy is usually a parody of traditional cartoons or takeoffs on famous films, but the plot and content are always violent and bloody. The most direct and obvious example is Tom and Jerry, an animated series which was also about a constant battle between a cat and a mouse, with the mouse usually victorious. Itchy and Scratchy also include shorts such as Scratchtasia, a parody of Fantasia, and Pinocchio, a parody of Pinocchio. Animation-related jokes are prevalent in the show, such as the Manhattan Madness cartoon in The Day the Violence Died, which is based on very early animated cartoons such as Gertie the Dinosaur. The cartoons also occasionally serve to play out an exaggerated form of the conflict in the surrounding episode. For example, in Deep Space Homer, Season 5, 1994, Homer is recruited by NASA, and later watches an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon which directly, and gruesomely, parodies the films 2001, A Space Odyssey and Alien. Fictional production history. Chester J. Lampwick created Itchy for the now-lost silent cartoon Manhattan Madness, in which the mouse brutally attacks and kills an Irishman and Theodore Roosevelt, in 1919, the year of the first Felix the Cat cartoon. However, the character was later stolen by Roger Meyers. Scratchy starred in his first cartoon in 1928, titled That Happy Cat. The film, a 13 seconds long animation showing the cat whistling and tipping his hat, was a commercial failure. Later that year, Itchy and Scratchy starred in their first cartoon together, Steamboat Itchy, a violent parody of Disney's Steamboat Willie. Along with the cartoon shorts, Itchy and Scratchy were featured in a World War II-era radio series, at least 2 films, Pinocchio and Scratchtasia, parodies of Pinocchio and Fantasia, and television commercials for Laramie cigarettes. Itchy and Scratchy Studios is run by Roger Meyers Jr., the son of Roger Meyers, the cartoon's creator. The studio was bankrupted after it was sued by Lampwick for $800 million, but was saved after receiving a large cash settlement from the government over its use of Mr. Zip. The show underwent a brief, non-violent retooling following a protest campaign led by Marge Simpson, but returned to its original violent format after Marge was later discredited. Itchy and Scratchy has spawned an Academy Award-winning film adaptation, amusement parks, and a musical, and like Krusty's show, localized versions are produced for other countries, such as Jamaica's The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Characters. The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Itchy and Scratchy are the main characters in the show. The duo first appeared in the Tracey Ullman Show short The Bart Simpson Show, which aired November 20, 1988. The performance style at the time was like Tom and Jerry. Their first appearance in The Simpsons was There's No Disgrace Like Home. Itchy, voiced by Dan Castellaneta, is a blue mouse, and usually the aggressor and the victor over the hapless Scratchy in their battles. An exception is in Homer Goes to College, Season 5, 1993. Bart and Lisa watch a cartoon called Burning Down the Mouse. As Lisa puts it, this is the one where Scratchy finally gets itchy. However, due to The Simpsons television being accidentally unplugged, the viewer does not see the end of the cartoon and Krusty proclaims that the network will never let it be shown again, to Bart and Lisa's fury. Scratchy, voiced by Harry Shearer, is a threadbare, dim-witted black cat and the victim of relentless abuse from the sadistic mouse, Itchy. The writers often forget which character is which. A trick they use is that Scratchy contains the letters C, A, and T. Poochie, voiced by Dan Castellaneta and Alex Rocco, is an orange dog that appeared in the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show, Season 8, 1997. In the episode, the producers of the Itchy and Scratchy Show believed the cartoons were getting stale, and needed a new character to reinvigorate the show. Homer Simpson gets the job of voicing Poochie, who is introduced in the cartoon, The Beagle Has Landed. A product of marketing department thinking, Poochie was near universally despised, and was killed off in his second appearance, despite Homer's objections. The episode was both a reference to TV shows which added new characters purportedly to reinvigorate the show, and a commentary on the growing complaints of fans of The Simpsons. The original idea for the episode was that Poochie would be obnoxious because he was so rich, rather than because he was so cool. Poochie would later make brief speaking cameo appearances in Treehouse of Horror 9 and Little Big Mom. Disgruntled Goat, Uncle Ant, Ku Klux Klan, an anthropomorphic goat, Ant and Clam, respectively, were characters introduced in a short-lived Itchy and Scratchy and Friends show. Bart and Lisa find plush toys of them in a gift shop in the Itchy and Scratchy Land episode. Production staff. Roger Meyers Jr., voiced by Alex Rocco and Hank Azaria, is the chairman of the board of Itchy and Scratchy Studios and son of Roger Meyers. He first appeared in Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, Season 2, 1990. He distributes the cartoon and is a jaded and selfish businessman who has nothing but contempt for the children who comprise his audience. He also has an extremely callous personality. He only cares about people who can help him. This is displayed in his contempt for the writers of the Itchy and Scratchy Show. Alex Rocco also voiced Myers in The Day the Violence Died in the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show. He said that he liked voicing Myers because I get to be a big shot. He professed being nervous when voicing the character for the first time in Itchy and Scratchy and Marge because he said that he had never done a voiceover before. At first he tried doing a special voice, but was told to just be yourself. Rocco was one of Bill Oakley's and Josh Weinstein's favorite guest stars, and they liked including him in their episodes so they could have a little fun with him. On occasions when Rocco was unavailable to do a voiceover, Myers was voiced by Hank Azaria in The Front, Season 4, 1993, Lady Bouvier's Lover, Season 5, 1994, and Itchy and Scratchy Land. The spelling of Myers' name has been inconsistent in the show. His last name was spelt both Myers in Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, and Myers the later episode The Day the Violence Died. His name is spelt Myers in The Front, as well as in the book The Simpsons, A Complete Guide to Our Favorite Family. Roger Meyers Sr. first appeared in video footage in Itchy and Scratchy Land and has never had a speaking role. He was created because the writers felt it would have been tortured logic to have the Roger Meyers Jr. be the creator. Roger Meyers Sr. has similarities to Walt Disney. For example, Disney's alleged anti-Semitism is spoofed when it is revealed that Myers made a cartoon called Nazi Supermen Are Our Superiors. June Bellamy, voiced by Tress MacNeille, is the actress who portrays both Itchy and Scratchy. Her only appearance was in the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show. It is assumed she is a reference to veteran voice actress June Foray, based on the same first name. In the episode, Bellamy states that a woman voiced the characters, although Itchy and Scratchy are voiced by male actors. Chester J. Lampwick, voiced by Kirk Douglas, is the creator of Itchy and only appeared in The Day the Violence Died. The producer's first choice for the character, William Hickey, declined. Douglas's recording session was fraught with interruptions because he refused to wear the supplied earphones, and said the maximum he would do was 2 takes. Writing staff: in several episodes revolving around the production of the Itchy and Scratchy Show, caricatures of the show's staff are used as the staff of the Itchy and Scratchy Show. This first occurred in Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, where caricatures of animators David Silverman, Wes Archer and Rich Moore can be seen. In the front, many of the show's writers were used. This in-joke was purely an idea of the animators. John Swartzwelder, George Meyer, Jeff Martin, Al Jean, Sam Simon, John Vitti and Mike Rice all appeared in the episode. This joke returned in the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show. Almost all of the writers shown are caricatures of the actual staff of The Simpsons. At the production table, David X. Cohen, Bill Oakley, Josh Weinstein are shown, while Meyer speaks out and gets fired. The animator shown designing Poochie is Silverman. Others who appear include Dan McGrath, Ian Maxtone Graham, Donna Carey, Ron Hauga, Ned Goldrayer, and Mike Scully. Background. Origins. The Itchy and Scratchy Show first appeared in the Tracey Ullman Show short The Bart Simpson Show, which originally aired November 20, 1988. They were the first major recurring characters outside of the Simpson family to appear. As a child, series creator Matt Groening and his friends would fantasize about an ultra-violent cartoon and how much fun it would be to work on a show like that. The names Itchy and Scratchy were inspired by Pixie and Dixie, who were mice on the cartoon show Pixie and Dixie and Mr. Jinx. The comic strip Squeak the Mouse is also considered as an apparent inspiration for the characters. Writer/producer Mike Rice insists they are not based on Tom and Jerry but on Herman and Catnip, a cheap, ultra-violent knockoff of Tom and Jerry. Director David Silverman supports this, stating Herman and Catnip is hilarious because it's just bad. As a child, Groening really liked the 1961 Disney film 101 Dalmatians, and it was one of the reasons to why he got into cartooning. In the film, the puppies watch television, and the idea that it is possible to have a cartoon within a cartoon thrilled Groening. From that idea he got the inspiration for the Itchy and Scratchy Show. David Silverman states that Itchy and Scratchy cartoons are an ironic commentary on cartoon mayhem in the sense that it's taken to a more realistic level. The kids on The Simpsons are laughing at it, and we're laughing too, but part of what you're laughing at is the over-the-top excessiveness of the violence. Development. Itchy and Scratchy cartoons are often added when a show needs expanding or when there is an issue that the writers wish to satirize. In some cases, notably in the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show, the writers use Itchy and Scratchy as a way to comment on The Simpsons. The shorts are often difficult for the writers, and take much time to develop and devise a title, and in the end they fill little time. Writing the Itchy and Scratchy cartoons is quite often a group effort, with it being pitched out one gag after another. Itchy and Scratchy are a favorite of John Swartzwelder, who has written many of the episodes that center on them and quite often pitches the ideas for the shorts. In the early seasons, fans wanted more Itchy and Scratchy, so the writers decided to do Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. An episode also dealt with censorship issues which would allow them to show several cartoons. The cartoons are often kept short, because according to David Silverman, it doesn't really work as a long cartoon. During his tenure as showrunner, Season 5 and 6, David Mirkin was asked by the Fox network not to do any more Itchy and Scratchy cartoons due to the amount of violence in them. In response, the show produced Itchy and Scratchy Land. The network asked them not to do the episode, and threatened that if the episode was produced, they would cut the Itchy and Scratchy parts out themselves, but relented when Mirkin threatened to tell the media. The writers nevertheless promised to try not to overdo the violence, and in some scenes the violence was cut. During their tenure as executive producers, Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein tried to fit in one episode relating to the Itchy and Scratchy Show every season. They note that as the seasons progressed, it became increasingly difficult for them to create new Itchy and Scratchy episode ideas. Although the episode was difficult to animate, Itchy and Scratchy Land was a dream come true for the animators, as they enjoyed animating scenes filled with violence. Reception. In a 2006 article, IGN ranked Itchy and Scratchy in 10th position on their list of the top 25 Simpsons peripheral characters, citing that the Itchy and Scratchy Show shines a nice mirror on cartoons. showing just how funny cartoon violence really is. In 2003, Entertainment Weekly named Itchy and Scratchy Land and the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show the 7th best and 23rd best episodes of The Simpsons, respectively. In 2007, Vanity Fair named the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie Show the 6th best episode in the show's history, describing it as a classic satire of network influence, obsessed TV fans, and programs that survive long after the shark has been jumped. The episode is a meta-celebration, a tongue-in-cheek rebuttal to everyone who claimed that the quality of The Simpsons had declined over the years. Todd Gilchrist called it a masterpiece, stating it could easily be packaged and sold by. Robert Canning of IGN writes that it's always fun to see an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon but believes that the shorter and simpler cartoons are better than the longer, more complex ones. In his book Planet Simpson, author Chris Turner describes Itchy and Scratchy as by far the most gleeful visual riffing on The Simpsons. Each snippet of Itchy and Scratchy packs as much frenetically paced action, sight gaggery and physical humor into its half-minute of screen time as a half-dozen Roadrunner cartoons and a dozen Tom and Jerry's. In a 2014 Vulture article, The Simpsons writers ranked their 9 favorite Itchy and Scratchy cartoons. Season-wise, their choices range from Season 4's Steamboat Itchy to Season 14's Leader of the Pack, while also including the opening scene of The Simpsons movie and the safety video Safety First that plays before The Simpsons ride at Universal Studios, both from 2007. Merchandising. Itchy and Scratchy have appeared in various products and other media relating to The Simpsons. A video game named the Itchy and Scratchy game was released for Genesis, Game Gear, Super NES and Game Boy. Another game, Itchy and Scratchy in Miniature Golf Madness, was released for Game Boy. Itchy, Scratchy and Poochie play roles in the Grand Theft Scratchy section in The Simpsons game. Itchy and Scratchy have also appeared in commercials for various products, including a 1999 Butterfinger advert where Bart watches a short called 500 Easy Pieces. They appear in the very first scene of The Simpsons movie. The writers of the film knew from the beginning that they were going to start with an Itchy and Scratchy short, and the segment was the first scene that was storyboarded by the animators. The duo also appear in the pre-show video for The Simpsons ride. They host a video called Safety First that shows riders what can happen to them if they do not follow ride requirements. What can happen to them if they do not follow ride requirements. What can happen to them if they do not follow ride